We're excited to have Nancy Childress here with us today. She is the founder of Keto for Real Life People, correct? Okay. She has dedicated her life to sharing her knowledge on the ketogenic diet and benefits with others who are looking to end cravings and hunger while eating healthily. That's a big one for me, is cravings. Yeah. These are in Nancy's words from her website. Hi, I'm Nancy, founder of Keto for Real Life People. I'm 50-something years old and I have finally started living my dream to help others through the ketogenic diet. Good dream. I have been a wife and mom since the age of 16. I've spent most of my life overweight and addicted to carbohydrates and sugar. But about Keto for Real Life People, wait, I'm reading this wrong. Anyway, we'll let her finish this out. I can identify with everything that you're saying there, spending the whole life, you know, trying to figure out what works. I was thinking back in the morning session, back in the 70s, when I first started having my children, Atkins was big. So I did Atkins for years and years. We've been blessed on this cruise to have Mrs. Atkins attend with us. And then Jackie Everstein, who was Dr. Atkins' nurse, for many, many years, has been on the cruise with us. And she's an incredible person. And then, you know, you go through all of these years, and it sort of evolves, you know, Atkins, then low carb, and now it's low carb keto or low carb high fat, you know, different thing that's going on. What I've learned over the years is that you find what works for you. You know, you find what works for you. And if this isn't working, then you tweak it a little bit, find something else. And you take advantage of the experts that are out there, the ones that have been through the journey, like Nancy and Jessica, and learn from them. And you know, and our good doctors, especially the ones that are like Dr. Jeff, who isn't sticking mainstream, who isn't afraid of figuring out what it is that we really need to do. So we're excited to have you and all of you here with us today, and let's learn.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so I always start out going like this. Hi guys, I'm Nancy. I'm Keto for Real Life People, and you might have seen me. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that. So this is my very, very first speaking engagement, so bear with me. A little jittery, and I don't know why. I hold my audience captive all the time on Facebook. It's not a big deal. But
You just don't have to stare it in your face.
yeah, it's a little like they're in my living room now. Look y'all here. So I am covering dealing with the ups and downs of life with keto, and I'm going to start out. I thought, I'm going to start it out just like I do on Facebook. I have a support group, and you know, when people join up, what do? You put your starting weight, you put your current weight, you put your goal weight, and that's where I started. I started at 248 pounds this time. At some point, I was almost 300 pounds. And you're looking at me going, really? Yep, that was me. I mean, my nose was trying to disappear into my face. It was like my face was eating my nose, basically. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't walk. And like Debbie said, hey, Atkins was the thing, and I had tried it in the 90s. I pretty much tried everything, y'all. I have gone from doctor to doctor, medications, fen, Weight Watchers, you name it, everything. I was right down to bariatric surgery. And I had the conversation. I said, if I can't get a hold of this, I've got to do something, because I couldn't even walk from here to there without losing my breath. And I knew I was dying. I was going to kill myself if I didn't stop. So there I am, 248, goal weight. I put a question mark behind that, not because I think that's where I need to be, that's what we do, but I've since learned that I don't really care about what the number on the scale is, okay? I really, really don't. I care about body fat percentage, though. That kind of interests me, because there's a difference of equating weight loss with a number on the scale versus reducing your body fat and increasing lean muscle, and it doesn't matter what the scale says. So right now I'm floating 177, 182, probably up a little bit because I drank some alcohol last night, and I've got some hormone issues going on, and I've been there for a year. I lost 74 pounds and then I just stopped. So we'll talk about that in a little bit. Making the decision. Overweight and pretending. I put a happy face up there and I put on my happy face there, but you can see me and my best friend Judy. It was her birthday. And but on the inside, the down was like I was not happy. I was unhealthy. I couldn't control my sugar or carb addiction. I'm a binge eater. And I had to make the decision. And this is something I tell everybody, guys. Most of you probably already are keto, obviously, or you're interested, or you have family members who want, you want to tell about keto. Well, I tell everybody, look, realize it's a way of life. It is not a diet. You're not going to do this and think you're going to lose, 20, 30, 40, 50 pounds and then go back to eating the way you were. So stop. Stop before you ever get started and think, am I going to be able to do this for the rest of my life? And once you make that decision, then the ups really start happening. You're going to get so many benefits for being keto, the health benefits that come with it. Weight loss, energy, health. This was me as I went along my journey here. My husband didn't even know about that middle picture. I love Snapchat filters. They're so amazing, guys. I'm telling you, But I went from that picture you just saw with my face eating my nose to feeling 10 years younger, having more energy, my skin, my hair, everything. The benefits of keto are amazing. And now we get into what I tell people. What I do in Motivation Monday, I'm telling you, I was nervous as all get out. High fat is where it's at. That's for me. That's what I tell everybody. I always encourage somebody to say, well, isn't it a high protein diet? I'm like, no, that was Atkins. You eat the same amount of protein you would normally. You just, eat what your body requires, probably 60, 70, 80 grams of protein a day, depending on your stats. But it's the fat. You have to eat fat. I say pick a fat and then decide what you want to eat with it. If you want to have butter for breakfast, have butter. Maybe toss in an egg or two. Maybe throw some bacon with that butter. But I tell everybody, eat your fats, because one of the biggest mistakes people make is not eating enough fat. And then you get hair loss, dry skin, your joints ache and things like that. So eat your fats. Keto kills the cravings. Okay, so I'm going to tell y'all. It does. Newfound freedom, carbs, away from carbs and sugars, because here's the thing. When I started keto, I did it the first time in 2016. I'd had some success with Atkins years before. I had lost some weight and I thought, okay, I'm gonna go back to doing that. Well, while I was looking for a support group, I came across the word keto, and that's how I came across keto. I joined a 90-day challenge. I lost like 30 pounds in 90 days, and I couldn't believe just how free I felt. I had no more cravings, guys. Fat is where it's at. You eat that high fat, it kills your cravings. But also comes with it, because I'm doing the ups and downs, is a false sense of security. I felt like that because I was free from my sugar and carb addictions, that I was free to cheat. After 90 days, it was Halloween, grandkids are out trick-or-treating, hand me a couple candy bars, let's go to Mickey D's afterwards, ate a small cheeseburger, and I quickly learned that the cravings came back. It was like drinking a drink of alcohol if you were an alcoholic, or doing drugs if you were a drug addict. You get this feeling of, I'm in control, but you're not. It's what you're eating that helps you be in control. Eating your high fat, eating your good protein, eating your good vegetables will eventually, within 3 weeks, you won't miss things that you thought you had to have. Your cravings go away. You find satiety. You find freedom, and it's more. And you're losing weight. But then along comes the emotional high, and I'm telling you, there is an emotional high to this of being free from being a slave. You know what I mean? It's like I was a slave to food. So Anyways, eating your high fat will kill your cravings, and that's how you do it. How do you do it? That's me. I was just on a trip in Florida here a couple of months ago and playing around in one of my group members' kitchen. And I tell everybody, get in there and get creative. When you're doing keto, I hear people say it's boring, you know, I'm tired of eating just meat, I'm tired of eating just vegetables, I'm tired of eating just fat. Well, one of my main goals, one of my main focuses is making food that tastes delicious and it enables you to eat keto for the rest of your life. Maybe I got my slides in a little bit backwards because one of the things that I'm going to say is keto is a lifestyle, not a life sentence. Okay? It's more versatile than people think. You can get creative in the kitchen. I always encourage everybody to eat clean 5-6 days a week, all the time. Eat your meat, eat your veg, eat your eggs. But then there's the fun stuff, like waffles on Saturday morning, or pizza night and movie night with the kids. You know, you can enjoy so many wonderful foods on keto and still lose weight and still maintain a healthy lifestyle. One of the things that I like to point out too is, once you hit maintenance, then it's like all fun. You can eat waffles every day, and I'm living proof that you will not gain weight or lose weight because I have been in the stall doing this all year long. I'm just saying. Oops, let me go back one. So these are the kind of foods I make. I do create, this was supposed to be a little video thing, but it won't do it. It's all good. And it has a slide. It has wonderful, wonderful foods rolling across there. Anyway, how do I do that? No, you're way back. So this is what I do. I create interesting ways. I've come up with all kinds of recipes. I use lupin flour, which is a very low glycemic, high protein flour that's based out of Australia, very low carb. So we've opened the door for all kinds of new keto baked goods, everything from crackers to lasagnas to enchiladas to wraps to fruit pies, fried pies, pancakes, waffles, you name it. There's not a time that you should be bored. I haven't figured out French fries, folks. How do you do French fries and not even use a vegetable? I did, by accident. So the thing about keto is it is 100% sustainable. You don't have to live on just cuts of meat. I think that by eating clean 5 or 6 days a week, you're going to get the best benefit. By intermittent fasting, you're going to get the benefits of autophagy. But at the end of the day, life goes on, whether it's birthday parties, family gatherings, holidays, and that's another area that I love to focus on. Starting September 1st of last year, I let my group members know that we were not going to be deprived through the holidays. So we started in September. We worked on things like fat bombs for Halloween, treats of all kinds. I said, you know it as well as I know it, that when those kids start coming around and that bowl of candy's there, you'll be like, oh, it's all right, I'll just have 1 or 2, and then I'll fast tomorrow. You know, we all do that, so why not be prepared? Be prepared, you know. So you get ahead of the game. So throughout the holidays, we had fat bombs for Halloween. Thanksgiving rolled around, we had dressing, pecan pie, cranberry fluff, turkey, pumpkin pie, pumpkin mousse bars, candy, chocolates for Christmas, cookies, everything. And I encourage you to plan ahead, do your meal prep, get ready for the holidays, even that far ahead, and you will be more successful along your keto journey. Just stop and think about it. I hear all the time from group members like, well, I was on vacation, so I have the right to, I ate a cookie. I'm just saying, I did, I ate a cookie. I know what they're saying. This is my first vacation ever, and I ate a cookie. But we don't really have to do that, you know? We can be prepared for any situation, and this is what I came up with. I was like, this is what I want when I go on the cruise. I want to find a lobster somewhere, and I'm going to find some steak and shrimp on our vacation. there's no need for food boredom whatsoever.
When
So-
you order, can you order for me too?
Yeah, I will. I definitely will. I don't know where to find that. The ship, I keep getting lost. Okay, here's a wonderful thing about keto, and some people are against it, and some people are totally for it. And I'm kind of in the middle of the road with everything, guys. You do what works for you. All right. I like that keto is becoming more mainstream. There are more and more products out there that are convenient. Not everybody is a stay-at-home cook like I do all the time. You know, you have jobs, you've got busy schedules, and you don't have time. So I love the fact that there's companies now creating good products with good, clean ingredients to make our keto journey easier. Anything from, you know, beef jerky packets to cereals to, you know, snacks, bars, candy, whatever. I love that about it. But, you know, every side of that part I love, there's the downs too, okay? I'm going to talk about this here. The brick wall, also known as the stall. Dead in the water, do not pass go. It's not the end of the road. It's time to change things up. After initial weight loss, you're going to find that you'll hit a stall. Technically, a stall is anything longer than 4 weeks. So if you've been tripping along on your keto journey, you know, losing weight, and then the next 2 weeks you don't, but then the following week you lose like a half a pound, you are not stalled. When you go more than 4 weeks without losing any weight, you're a stall, and there's many reasons why that can be. It could be that your body has a new set point, and it could be the fact that you've gone into maintenance. And I don't know if anybody ever stops and talks about that, but I've asked my group, what's the difference between maintenance, hitting your goal, and a stall? Nothing. One you've reached goal, and the other one you haven't. So this is where you can take a look at what the causes might be and what you can do about it. You can lower your fat. I've read and researched, talked with doctors, never eat less than 64 grams of fat a day. But you can lower your fat intake because you want your body to burn fat, not just burn the energy that you're consuming. So, you know, you make those adjustments that way. Once you get into your maintenance, then you get to enjoy all the rest of the fun foods and things that I talked about. I go back to this. I know I'm flipping and flopping. I've got my little cards here backwards, I think. When we have convenience with some of these products, some of the products are not keto friendly. And this is the part that's tricky. I highly recommend educating yourself, looking at labels and reading ingredients. And, you know, some of them we know. We know that if we're seeing erythritol or monk fruit or, you know, almond flour or baking powders, things like that, then we're pretty good to go. But when you start seeing words like oligosaccharides or soluble corn fiber, you got to know what those kind of words mean. And that's my jam, y'all. I love looking up ingredients. And you have to be wary, and you have to decide. Oligosaccharides, also known as tapioca starch. Okay, the government, they're not regulated, so they can use different words, but basically it's the same thing. And just a little information on tapioca starch is that if you read about it, it says tapioca starch is wonderful. It is 90% fiber and only 10% carbohydrates. So therefore, it's keto and low carb friendly. When in reality, if you dig deeper, go down the wormhole like I did, you will find that it's really only about 30% fiber. So when you're looking at a package, for instance, and you see that it has almond flour and then tapioca starch, buyer beware, don't do this, because you'll look at the nutrition label and it'll say there's 30 grams of carbs and there's 28 grams of fiber. That is your telltale that they use mostly tapioca starch in their product, and you're going to be eating more sugar than you were expecting. You're not getting the benefits of fiber, you're getting sugar put in you. Now, on the other hand, if you were to see another product And it has almond flour, and then it has some oat fiber, and then it has, you know, some guar gum, and then it has this, and then you see tapioca starch or oligosaccharide, and it's way down at the bottom. Look up at the nutrition label. You'll probably see something that has like 12 carbs in it, and then maybe, you know, 10 fiber. You're good for go. Then you can make a better choice. So these are the kind of things that I teach people of how to look at labels, how to understand what ingredients mean, how to cook things, how to, we just did a little quick live from Walmart, you know. We looked at Quest, we looked at Slim Fast, we looked at Atkins bars, we looked at all these wonderful convenience products, and we just did a little quiz to think what one is better, you know? Which one is better? If you were in a jam, what would you do? Would you get a Quest bar? Would you get a Atkins bar? Or would you get a Slim Fast? And it was really interesting. Which one would you go for? Quest?
Of those three?
It was the worst. You see, everybody was like, Quest bar, Quest bar.
I think it depends
You're right.
on which one then.
Well,
The
we-
Slim Fast I've looked at is really.
Oh yeah, the ingredients lists are a mile long, but you know, Atkins was a mile long, so it really just depends. But yeah, Quest has changed.
They do have a soluble form.
They do have that in there. So anyways, be mindful of your labels. You know, there's convenience, but then there's the hidden carbs, hidden sugars, things that they're not, I mean, they're not being honest with you. And in the long run, that's going to knock you out of your ketosis, or you might decide, hey, why am I craving again? Why am I starting? It's because of the ingredients that they have in there. Lastly, for me, and then I'll let y'all ask me any questions, keto doesn't fix everything, but it pretty much does. I mean, almost everything. It's pretty darn close, that's what I put it. I have, you know, my family is pretty much gone keto. I love it. It started out by myself, and over the last almost 2 years, family member after family member, including my husband, has gone on the keto journey. And I've been amazed that, like, my 33-year-old son, who was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in March, I mean, he called me directly from the doctor's office. 10.75 A1C. He was a walking time bomb. His triglycerides were high. His blood sugar was completely out of control. It was up in the like 600 range. I mean, he was bad. And he doesn't look like, you know, he's not overweight, but he's a general manager in a major chain restaurant. So he eats that food all the time. He called me directly and he was like, Mom, what do I do? I said, you don't want to hear it, but guess what? Keto. He's lying because you were going to tell me that. I said, well, you got to do something, buddy. I said, because right now that doctor is fixing to walk back in the office. He was in the doctor's office and put you on metformin, tell you to eat whole grains, eat some yogurt, do this. And I said, and then you're just going to be really turn into a mess. So 3 weeks later, his blood sugar's down to 84. And him and his wife have been keto ever since March. And I love that, you know, only 33, and he was diagnosed with diabetes. Who knew? My husband is keto. He is not overweight, never has been. He's totally hot and fit and all that good stuff. And but he's got achy joints. He's got high blood pressure. You know, you don't have to be overweight to be keto. And he finally bit the bullet. He was the last holdout. You know, like, I'm not going there. He finally did, and he said, oh my God, I feel wonderful. You know, the joints. He wasn't able to close his hand at all for like almost 2 years because his arthritis was so bad. But boom, down, you know, he's got it. Things like hormones, autoimmune disease. I think keto is wonderful and helpful. Kidney disease. Will it fix it? I can't guarantee that, but I can say that it will improve it. Everything that you're going to do is going to improve when you eat keto. So, I don't know if I have another one here. Oh yeah, I do. Here it is. Remember, keto is a journey, not a life sentence. enjoy your journey. I have enjoyed mine. I've had some ups, I've had some downs, and I have to say that in 2 years, I've only fallen off the wagon, as we all do, maybe, I'm gonna say 3 times. 3 different separate occasions that I've done it. And not majorly, thank goodness, you know. But I think it was just enough to remind me that, you know, it's not for me. The feeling like you've got a hangover because you ate something with flour in it, you know, it's not worth it. What do we got here? I don't know why I'm stumbling today. Here we go. Let's go back to this. Keto is not a life sentence. And when I say that, it's because so many people, my daughter in particular, said, I'm just sick of keto. And I'm like, nobody's forcing you to do it. Yeah, but I'm so bored with it. I was like, yeah, but you never cook anything for yourself. You're going to have to love it for what it is. It is a lifestyle journey. You can get out of it what you put into it. If you want to be creative, be creative. If you want to order products, just look at the label and order products. Do whatever it takes to make your journey sustainable, whatever it takes to make your journey healthy for you. And one other thing is, I always say this to everybody as well, I'm kind of middle of the road. You want to call me dirty keto, call me dirty keto. I'm not keto police. I will tell you straight up and down if something is or isn't keto, and there is a difference between keto and low carb, obviously. But I think everybody has to do what works for them. I know people who have thyroid issues, and believe it or not, them adding a sweet potato once a week helps with weight loss. True story. Everybody's like, what, a sweet potato? I'm like, not everybody's journey is the same. You know, you can eat clean 5, 6, 7 days a week, but people who have had thyroid issues, in my group particularly, find that just a healthy carb, just a little bit, helps with their metabolism and switches it around. So I tell people, don't judge other people for what they have to do for their journey. You know, just do what you have to do for your journey. So thank you guys. I'm very, very nervous, but I appreciate your patience and bearing with me. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you. Yes, sir.
Some more about that miracle flour. I'd like to know what it's made of and what its nutritional characteristics are.
Well, I don't have my stats with me, but I can tell you that it is a plant. It's from the lupine plant. It's used widely in Australia and other countries. Per quarter cup, it has 11 total carbs, 10 fiber, so it's 1 net carb per quarter cup. Some people say, well, that's too high fiber. I say, well, if you eat chia seeds, it's way higher in fiber if you were to stack it up equal amounts. It's very low on the glycemic index. It does not raise blood sugar. I have done my blood work on it as far as eating it and then testing my blood, testing my ketones. I'm really good. I'm in the pocket with it. I will tell everybody that it comes from the plant family with peanuts and legumes. So it is a type of legume, but again, it's not like soy or peanuts. I've read that if you have a peanut allergy, there's a possibility you could have a reaction to lupin flour. So that's my disclaimer on that. The lupin flour is amazing. I don't use it in a cup for cup like I would almond flour. It's more of a quarter cup to a half a cup. And then I blend it with almond flour and I blend it with coconut flour for certain recipes. But my miracle, 4-ingredient miracle dough is amazing because it is just lupin flour, cream cheese, a little bit of mozzarella, and psyllium husk. That's it, 4 ingredients. And from that you can get a wide array of food. Yes, sir?
So when people consult you and they say, I've hit this wall, it's 4 weeks, what are the changes you usually walk them through?
Well, thank you, Jeff. What I do is, first I say, okay, what's your age? I get all their stats. What's your medical conditions? Are you taking anything? And then what are your eating habits? I go over that. But one of the biggest culprits that I have found is bulletproof coffee. It seems to be one of the simplest fixes for breaking a stall. A lot of people start keto and they think that it's a prerequisite, like, oh, I'm gonna do the keto diet, and I'm gonna drink fatty coffee every morning, and I'm gonna put in, 2 tablespoons of fat in, I'm gonna put 2 tablespoons of heavy cream in, and then they're like, but I've only lost 3 pounds. And I'm like, well, maybe you should just eat your fat and eat your vegetables and use bulletproof coffee or fatty coffee as a tool. I think it's a wonderful tool. I don't think it's something that you need to use every day. So that's one thing I check into, and if they're doing that, I recommend cutting it out. The other thing I do is I do take a hard look, like, at what you're eating overall. Have you been eating fat bombs? Some people do, especially in the beginning. We want fat bombs and stuff like that, until we just kind of lose those cravings for sweets altogether. But I just modify it. And I also take their macros and I recalculate them on the calculator. Maybe they've lost 15, 20 pounds and they haven't adjusted their fat or their macros. So I recommend macros adjustment, and we just go from there. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
You mentioned carbs and net carbs. We go roundabout here in our house. I don't know if it's appropriate for you, but I need that question answered.
Okay, whether it's whole or net.
We're all gonna answer different.
Yeah, I really, guys, I have
It's a
never
preference.
counted, throughout my weight loss, I never counted my carbs at all. I knew in my mind I had a roundabout number that I was shooting for, but I never tracked my macros during my weight loss. And this I've heard from Dr. Berry, I've heard it from Jimmy, just different people, just enjoy your food. Because if you're eating high fat, you're gonna be satiated. You're not gonna worry about overeating anything, and if you're eating your fat in the right percentages. That being said, I think once you hit that wall or that stall, then you've gotta come back and look at how many carbs am I eating a day? Have you we all do this, you get accustomed to a certain thing, next thing you know, 1 cup is 1.5 cups and 2 cups, and so maybe you're eating more carbs.
Carb creep.
Yeah, carb creep, exactly right. So I am now in a spot, and I made my mind up yesterday at the hotel, that I'm starting a new part of my journey. While I love being a group leader, while I love helping everybody with new recipes every week I give out new recipes, and I'm always in the kitchen, I've kind of let myself be put on the back burner. So I made my decision to say, hey, I'm just as important, I'm ready to kick off my part of the journey, and for me, I do believe there's another thing at play. Not only am I eating all the time and trying new recipes, but I got menopause for my birthday, woo! And with it, I got this little pooch right here. In the last 3 months, I'm like, what is that? And how is it getting on me? And I'm not even doing anything wrong, Why is this happening? So now I'm taking a new stance that I'm going to go with total carbs. Because I need to be mindful. I think for a person going through hormonal issues, you just need to lower those carbs down and get that protein in and eat that fat, because it's going to hit me right here at this age and stage of my game. You see? For somebody who's maybe beautiful, Jessica's.
I was at the doctor the other day and he just confirmed perimenopause. So I feel
you're with me.
I feel you.
You feel it. So yeah, some people can get away with it. I do tell people, if you're new on the keto journey or if you're just starting this out, I always recommend net carbs in the beginning. That way you have room to wiggle. So if you start keto and you want to go strict, as some people do, and they're like, I only eat 4 carbs a day, and I never do anything wrong. Well, then they hit that stall and they're, okay, take away those 4 carbs. But when you start out at 25 net carbs or 20 net carbs a day, you have room to keep bringing them down and bringing them down. And that's where I've been really successful with my group members, and I do a lot of personal coaching, of watching that scale just keep on coming, because we've got room to lower the carb count as we go along. Yes, sir?
So on the other end of the spectrum, for coaching somebody who's nearing their goal, whatever it is,
Mhm.
and and I really don't care whether it is a, ideal body weight or anything like that. But let's say they're coming in close and they want to land the plane and hit maintenance on purpose. How do you counsel them at that point?
What I counsel them on when they're at that spot, now I have some people who are very frustrated. They're like, I just want 10 pounds. I only need to lose 10 pounds and then I'll get gold. They want to hire me and I'm like, you don't need me. First of all, you don't. It comes back to me, the scale. Again, do you need to lose 10 pounds to say that you hit your goal, or do you need to lose some body fat? And if you don't, then you really need to find a place of acceptance of where you're at. 5 to 10 to even 15 pounds looks different to me on keto than it does on a non-keto person.
True.
For instance, I'll use my daughter Elizabeth. She's 5'6". She weighs 158 pounds. She'll kill me if I tell everybody her weight, but
We don't know.
she's not here.
Just gonna watch
What happens on the ship stays. Okay, so anyway, she is absolutely gorgeous. Flat stomach. She's got muscle. She's running daily, so she's building muscle, and she just drives herself nuts with that darn scale. And she's like, I'm used to weighing 140 something pounds. And I'm like, your body did what it was supposed to do on keto, guys. On keto, you are going to find your healthy weight, not what the magazine or the insurance company says you should weigh.
So many people are stuck on a number that they were at in the past where they felt good about
High school.
themselves.
Right.
It can be high school, it can be any time, but that number doesn't look the same on you at a different age, and it doesn't look the same on you body composition. But I find most people, it's a mental thing. They're like, I'm like, what is it about that number 133? Exactly.
Exactly.
And they're like, well, that's when I was so happy in my life. So a lot of times I think that number,
They equate.
that they're holding on to that, like I'm gonna feel that way again when I hit that number.
Exactly right. Now, I'll tell you too, when it comes to body composition on keto too, I'm wearing a size 8, y'all. I'm like, how can it be 170, 180 pounds and wearing a size 8? Things shifted differently when I ate keto versus when I lost 30 pounds on Weight Watchers. I, maybe lost 1 or 2 sizes in my clothing, but I mean, I dramatically just like shrank. And I was able to start buying size medium clothes and wear clothes that, quite frankly, it's a mystery. Like, how is this even possible? Anybody else? No? Well, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you taking the time to listen.